Same old shit, bro. Well, let me set this up.
Same shirt.
This is the podcasting shirt.
Okay.
Hold on. Get this shot right. There you go. You're the start of the show tonight.
Oh fuck.
Well, it's been a while, So how you
How many
been?
viewers do you have?
Oh yeah, did you notice the Canadian flag in the back? I'm being really patriotic.
Yeah. I
Patriotic?
know. Hey, you have to be patriotic for your home country.
Exactly, Canada.
Yeah. Oh, America, you're Canada.
So I guess let's just jump into it. Fucking Trump assassination. What do you think happened?
Well, you want the
I want your honest opinion.
Well, my honest opinion is that the CIA tried to take him out by hiring an MK Ultra plant that was starred in a BlackRock
Commercial?
documentary. Yep, and yeah, they positioned him on the rooftop and gave him a rifle and set him up and told him he would not be fired upon. And then right when he took the shot, the Secret Service, who is also CIA, they took him out. So he thought that he was just doing his job, but in reality, he was double crossed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think that was real? Like the shooting, as far as them trying to kill him or whatever, you think that was real?
Why would it not be real if Biden was just gonna drop out in 2 weeks after that anyway?
Like I'm saying real as in like I feel like that whole thing was staged.
Why would Trump, if he's already 50%, 51% up in the polls, right? Why would he fake an assassination, even though he's already had 10 assassination attempts on himself?
No fucking way. I didn't know that. I thought this was the first assassination attempt.
No, if you follow QAnon, he's had multiple assassination attempps since his first election when he was president.
Okay. Shit, I didn't know that. No, because I'm saying like if they really wanted him killed, first of all they would have a real shooter, not some MK Ultra dude like some kid or whatever that wouldn't know what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if he really wanted him dead, he would be dead.
Okay, if imagine it was real,
Mm-hmm.
right, and it was just a random person, well, the public would want to know who it was, why, and when it happened. But if it was actually real, it makes sense to have a fall guy, right?
Yeah,
if it was
yeah.
actually the CIA and it was a professional, like, yeah, Trump would have been dead, like, immediately, and they would have never caught the guy,
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Let alone you hear. No, go ahead.
But they need to have a fall guy. They need to have somebody who they can say, okay, this was what happened, and this was the person, and we got him, and they did, right? So it's better to hire somebody who's not in the organization because you don't actually lose a valuable member of the CIA.
But they're not gonna risk a member of the CIA to protect the president, bro. Come on.
Why do you think they did have valuable members to protect the president? That's why the guy got shot. But the Secret Service is not part of the CIA. Trump has his own Secret Service.
Yeah.
That's different than the White House Secret Service, because the White House Secret Service is guarding Kamala, the Clintons, still Obama's, and Biden. Okay, so and they're all part of a different organization, like BlackRock.
Yeah.
Trump has his own Secret Service. It's not like all the CIA and the Secret Service is just all together working as a unit. No, because Trump would be dead immediately, right? Because it's still run mostly by the Clinton Foundation, the Obamas, and the Bushes.
I think this is like a publicity stunt for votes. personally.
No, because he was already up in the polls.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
There would be no need for him to risk his life, right, by getting shot in the ear, which, could have took his head off. There'd be no point in him doing that for publicity.
Yeah.
He's already a huge public figure. Everybody already loves him.
That's what's got me, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, why would they orchestrate all this? Me personally, I don't think it's real because so many little red flags, like the guy that was on the roof, apparently, he was there for like an hour, or I don't know the exact details, but people were calling 911 saying that there's a guy on the roof, there's a guy on the roof. So like the people knew about it before the fucking the CIA or whoever was protecting him. Because on St. Patrick's Day.
Trump doesn't control 911. All the calls that go through 911, right? There's a system of levels you have to go up before it reaches the Secret Service.
For sure.
And Trump's Secret Service is not the Secret Service. Now, why would 911 contact Trump's Secret Service and let them know before the assassination would actually take its attempt? They wouldn't, because they wanted Trump to actually die, right? But the only thing that stopped it was Trump's Secret Service on the rooftops, and they saw him, right? But they waited for him to get in position and take a shot before they shot him and killed him.
Yeah. Because what I was gonna say was when I was St. Patrick's Day here in Montreal here, Justin Trudeau made an appearance, right? So when I saw him, I just peeked around, and I'm telling you, on every building top, I saw a sniper with like a gun. You know what I mean? And this is Justin Trudeau. So I'm saying if Trump's thing was really real or whatever the hell, which this is my opinion. I'm saying like they would have had people on every rooftop in the 500 feet of, you know what I mean, of the vicinity of where Trump was. There's no way that they would just have two guys on the roof here and over there. It would be like covered. The whole place would be covered, let alone from the beginning. And this guy had a ladder. He had time to go up there. You know what I mean? Like so many little things don't add up.
Well, there's probably a mole in Trump's Secret Service, right? That did not inform the members of his Secret Service that there was a guy on the rooftop, and he's probably CIA, right? And he's probably working with the opposing party because you got to think about it like this. There's a lot of intelligent agencies that work with security. So if some of them are on the Democrat side and getting paid by BlackRock and whatnot, and some of them are on Trump's side, they're going to obviously not communicate. So the whole point I'm trying to make is Trump would not risk his life to fake an assassination.
Yeah, but
it just wouldn't.
You know what I mean? Like, I think the guy didn't even shoot. Oh, we heard 3 shots, right? And he has like a little bit of blood on his ear. They can fake that shit. It's like WWE, bro. You know what I mean? That shit is so easy.
Which shots were louder? The shots from the Secret Service or the shots from the shooter?
No, like the shots of the shooter. You hear the dup, dup, dup. It sounds like a paintball gun, first of all. And second of all, the blood on his ear, they could have faked that. It's like WWE. They just have a little thing. They cut his ear or just splatter some blood on his ear. Like, how do we even really know what is what? You know what I mean?
Well, he was probably using a smaller caliber rifle than what they were saying he did.
I bet you it was not even real bullets. I bet you he was just there. It doesn't make sense, bro. I'm just saying, this is me. And your things make sense too, because I'm like, one thing doesn't make sense that he's already up in the votes, so why would they do that? That's one big thing.
He wouldn't. He would have no need to do that.
Yeah.
He's up in the votes. He's going to be president. They tried to pay him off. It didn't work. They tried to get him to stop his campaign. It didn't work. The third thing that they're going to do is try to kill him, right? And that's what it is. You can't pay off a billionaire to stop trying to help our country, right? He has everything he wants. He has nothing. The only thing, he has everything to lose in being president. He has nothing to gain. He can go live on an island somewhere and live his life completely happy and free from all this stress. He does not need to put himself in harm's way.
Yeah, but he's like
Image.
he's like another idol as far as like people will blindly listen to him or believe him, so that's just why they people like him would stay in power because like he's a leader. People will willfully do anything he says, they'll believe
Well,
him.
that's a good. That. Well, why would we not want somebody who didn't take any money from being president in any of his 4 years, 3.5 years?
But he's another liar, bro. Come on, he doesn't pay tax. We're all supposed to pay taxes. He clearly doesn't pay taxes. You know what I mean?
He said he was honest. He said
Yeah.
he uses the same system as they do. Right? He's the most honest president we have ever had. Okay, he wants to go after the Federal Reserve. He wants to get us out of the federal bank. He wants us to go back to gold-backed currency. He wants strong borders. He wants the American people, the actual American-speaking people, to have an uprising in jobs. He wants an actual health care that's not Obamacare and that's not like funded by the Rothschilds, right? Everything he wants to do is against the New World Order. He's trying to get out of NATO.
That's how it looks.
Right?
That's definitely how it looks.
He wants to get out of NATO. He does not think NATO has the best interest of the American public at heart, and it's true they don't. Right? Now, I'm for the best person. Right? I'm not saying that Trump could be a bad person for the American people. I'm not saying that he couldn't be, a Freemason, because he is a Freemason.
Ho ho!
I'm saying that everything he's doing is better for the American public than what we've seen. And so I'm not going to vote for him, right? I'm not going to vote for any party. I'll never vote my entire life of being alive. I'll never vote. But I want to see how it plays out. I want to see what he's actually going to do. He's exposed so much corruption from the New World Order, from the vaccines, from the Rothschilds. Like, he's exposed so much and spoken so much truth, and people hate him for it.
I think he's a controlled opposition because on the one side you hear him say don't take the vaccine, and then he said take it. But let me someone commented. Hold on, let me shout out to these.
He said take the vaccine before it came out that the vaccine was bad, and then after he found out, then he started saying do not take it.
Oh.
So he was all for it before, and then he's like, okay, my people are telling me that this is what the truth is. Now I'm saying not to take it.
Okay.
Right?
So the guy, someone named Yaladonna says, "You're right. Stop thinking about it. It's all us to become crazy. They want us to talk and not stop thinking. Scapegoat. So the shooter was a scapegoat. They want us to talk and not stop talking to inform us from something deeper. They target people like us. Don't keep the story to keep the story going. Don't believe what you see. He is one of." Secret Service, there are precautions and shit they don't want. They do if you haven't been in military or anything. You would understand. Hold on, let me hear that. Was 50-50 with Secret Service. There are precautions and shit they do what they do. If you haven't been in the military, you'll understand. Not only, but snipers did their job, just didn't expect it. If someone wanted to take you out, would they tell you? We didn't see the wound. Exactly, we didn't see the wound, right? You just see a little splatter of blood.
That was the wound. It was on his ear. And the blood was coming from his ear. And it was just a nick. It wasn't enough to take his ear off. And it wasn't a high caliber rifle to take his ear off either. If it would have been, let's say, 30-06, the impact of hitting his ear would have tore his whole ear off, and his ear would have just been dangling from a shred of skin.
Wow.
Right? But I've shot apples with 223 rounds. Right, and 4.2 rounds, or 0.42 rounds, and I've hit the apple, and the apple not fallen from the stand before. If I just nicked it? So I'm saying that it was a smaller caliber rifle than what the media is telling us it was, which is why the clacks were way smaller in sound than the Secret Service. Secret Service is not joking around. They're using actual high caliber rounds, right? They shot him one time and he was down.
Well, all I remember hearing is bup, 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 and on the first shot, you see Trump go down, and then you hear bup, 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 like little shots going off. But you hear, like, the
Yeah.
first initial shots were 3 shots. The first shot, he
Right.
grazed Trump's ear, and the other, by then, Trump was already going down.
Yeah. Yeah. You heard what he was far away, so what you heard was, it was, when you heard the first shot, he touched his ear, and then you heard the shot, and it's because he was so far away that you don't really hear the shot until after you get hit. If you hear the shot and nothing happens, it means it wasn't meant for you, right? He heard the shot, he heard the echo, and he touched his ear, and he ducked, and he heard 2 more shots.
Yeah.
Well, the 5 other shots were from the Secret Service.
Mm.
So, and they hit him one time. Like, it's hard to hit somebody, without doing the measurements of the wind and all that, right? Like, you're going to miss. So they took multiple shots at him to take him down. And the one shot that took him down, it was effective.
Mm.
But regardless, I do not think that Trump would not risk his speech, right? He would not risk his time there to fake an assassination attempt. He's already up in the polls. He already knew Biden was going to drop out. It makes no sense for any of that to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of that is a conspiracy right there.
It definitely is a rabbit hole. We're probably not going to hear the truth about it for probably another 8 years, because that's how long I think his term is going to be. I think that they impeached Trump to get him out of office so that he can continue spraying chemicals, continue killing the public, continuing the gender thing on people, getting people to transition and all that, and to kind of stop what Trump was doing, because we were flourishing under Trump. I had a job, I was making good money, we were getting $1,200 from Trump, for the vaccines, right, the pandemic, and then here comes Biden, and we're only going to get $800 from Biden, right? So the whole point is for them, to not get us money. They don't want us to have money. If we have money, we're successful. If we're successful, we take precautions to where we do not have to be ruled by the government. We can build farms. We can buy land. We can, drive gas-powered cars. And the whole point that they want to do is they want us to be controlled. They want us to drive electric vehicles where they can shut off at any moment. They want us to be in restricted housing so that they can increase our rent. They want us to eat genetically modified foods so that we are sick and we die faster. Because the faster that this generation dies, that leaves the generation that they raised, which is basically the confused generation. And the confused generation is all for socialism and for gender equality and with 12 genders and whatnot, right? But Trump knows there's only 2 genders, right? His political party, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, they both know that there's 2 genders, and the Democratic Party does not like that because we're going to unite, right? When we have only 2 genders, that means we're not split into 12 different groups, right? We're more of a opposition to their New World Order.
You said it there.
They want us drinking soda and eating chips that have dyes in them and syrups in them that literally clog our
But
brains.
some people, it's like you could show a fucking person how bad it is to eat McDonald's every day, and they will still go eat it the next day, bro. It's like literally a form of brainwash.
Yep, my friends do it. I showed them videos about the acrylamide and about the meat being, processed and having soy in it and being fake.
They're like, yo, it's convenient.
Yeah,
It's
any
convenient.
place that sells an Impossible Burger
No.
or the Impossible Meat from Bill Gates, any of those places, they are working with the corporations
Yes,
to
yes.
make us sick.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's both sides. They're fucking you on both ends. That's the crazy
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know, like there's this place called Health Tree, right? So the soaps are like double the price. Everything is double the price. And me, I'm like, yo, I bet you it's the same companies, because it is technically most of the time. It's the same company selling you both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, I started smoking these what are these things called?
Stop smoking that shit, bro. That shit is horrible.
Yeah,
Those
I just is my first one, and it's gonna be my last one. I just wanted to see. I heard some good things about nicotine and how it kills off parasites because it's killing you. So I heard that it kills off the parasites because it's killing you.
Yeah, but
And so I wanted to smoke one.
I would
And
rather
the entire
you smoke a real cigarette than that shit, actually.
yeah, I think that real cigarettes, they have so many chemicals. It's not just nicotine,
So I
right?
would get those native Indian cigarettes then.
No, because that's still it's still controlled by Marlboro. It's still controlled. There's only a few cigarette companies,
No, no, no.
right?
From
They
like
have
indigenous Indians.
no. It's still controlled by Marlboro. There's only a few tobacco companies. They sell them to Newport, Camel,
Oh
Marlboro.
shit.
It's all the same. Why do you think there's so many different kinds of the natives, right?
That's true. Well,
There's
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 no,
like
there's so many different huts, like so different brands, definitely different brands, but I don't know if it's all coming from the same place or where it's actually coming from. I have no idea. If anything, you
well,
would think because the natives they hate white people, right? And they know white people are buying those cigarettes, so I heard they purposely put some shit in there to kill the white to get back at the white man.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's another conspiracy. But all cigarettes are like even the paper that's wrapped around the cigarette is dyed
Yeah,
in bleach or in coloring, and it has like other toxins in the paper itself.
it's like you know
So it's a
when I
filter.
when I buy rice, it's called basmati rice, and it says Pakistan, but I'm like it's being bleached. So I'm like, you're telling me Pakistan is bleaching this, or these fucking
Yeah.
companies are controlling that shit too?
Something that you can do with your rice because starch is not very good for you. Something you can do with your rice is start boiling it with coconut oil in it, and the coconut oil will allow the rice to absorb the coconut oil, and that way when you're eating the rice, it's actually doing something good for you, and it's blocking out all that starch because it's an oil.
Hmm.
So that's something that I recommend people start doing with their rice.
Well, I stopped using fucking. I was using olive oil or like canola oil. I stopped using that and I started using avocado oil.
Okay. Yeah, you still got to be careful of, like where it comes from.
That's
Oils are not very good for you. So like the one thing we can do is, coconut oil is good for you, but
hmm.
the coconuts that they're probably using are genetically modified
That's
also, just like the
exactly.
watermelons.
It's like they have us by the balls, bro. Like George Carlin said,
Yep.
he's like, they have you by the balls. It's like so hard. And it's like if you let's say you had tomorrow you had a multi-billion-dollar company, right? And you start talking about shit like this, tomorrow you're gonna be blackballed. Your business partners are gonna not gonna want to do business with you because it's all fucking controlled by the Steens, if you know what I mean. Steens, right?
Yeah.
Bertstein, Artstein.
Yep. They want us confused, but once we're all on the same page, everything changes because they can't trick our minds anymore.
Bro, it's like one
Um,
thing that blew my mind is about Hitler, right? Because we're all programmed to think Hitler is an asshole or whatever. But then you look into it, apparently, what was the word? Usury. He banned usury. And usury means like a means of making money off of other people, which is banking. And all these steens, that's all they do is they're bankers, right? So they were making money off of other people. And then Hitler wanted to wipe them out because that's why they were being kicked out of wherever they went because they all became like bankers and they were just making money off of people, off of
well, look what
interest
he
and all
did.
that shit.
Look what he. If you want, if you get his speeches translated and actually like listen to his speeches, like Germany was the world leader, in World War II. Like before the United States, Germany was way ahead of its time. They had way more advanced guns,
Technology.
machinery,
Yes.
tanks,
Yes.
technology.
You're right.
Look what he did when World War II was starting out. He rounded up all the people of the media, right, that were spreading false information. He actually put laws on false information, and anyone caught spreading false information was put to death.
Wow.
And if you do more research now, we have all of our news comes from the Jewish media, and it's all controlled by Jewish propaganda, which is why everybody, which is how the anti-Semitism came out.
Exactly.
Everybody was for the Jews. It's like, oh, the Jews are good.
It's a form of deflection because if they make themselves look like the victim, then no one's want to blame them for anything because they're always like, hey, we're the victim, and they always use that card. Hey, you know what happened to us over there? They never mention why, And I'm always like, why would he just want to wipe out a race just because they were not appealing? I'm like, what? So many little things.
They were actually, the Jews are a satanic cult. They
the Ashkenazi Jews. Is that what it is?
Yeah. All of them, all the Jews, if you look at the rabbis were licking circumcision of babies, and I have videos of it. Literally, a grown rabbi was
like sucking on the penis.
Yep,
and
the baby, which is turning the baby into sin. Right when the baby, it was right after the baby was born.
And his STDs are going to the baby too.
Yep, that could be true also. So, it's all about keeping us in sin, because you can't...
And normalizing sin.
Yep, normalizing it. Yep, which is where we are today.
Yes.
Yep.
You're so right, bro.
Yeah.
Like, the Nazis had anti-gravity technology in the 40s. Like, if you look into it, they had that thing called the bell. And speaking of bells, apparently there used to be so many bells, and they were like a certain frequency where you could be healing. You know what I mean? There's so many little things that have been cut out.
Every church had a different healing ability. So when you were sick, you would actually go into a certain church, and the markings on the windows of the church was the healing frequency that you would already know about, and be like, okay, well, I need this frequency. And so you would go into that church, and then it would ring, and then your body would be healed with that frequency. And then you would leave just being rejuvenated and free of the parasites and of the illnesses. But in World War I, they rounded up all of the bells from the churches to make, ammunition and weapons, artillery, right? But that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
But really, they just put them in this giant, basically like a dump, and they just left them there and they buried them.
No, so...
But you can find some bells today, and they don't want us to be healthy anymore, because if you look at all the bloodlines of the people, they're not dying, they're living until they're 90, 100 something years old.
Well, because
and we're dying off in our 60s.
Because
and if we're dying off in our 60s, then that means they have another 40, 50, 60 years above us.
Two things. Two things. They raised the age of retirement for us, so we don't have access to that. And then the reason why they're living longer is adrenochrome and the other things that these guys do that includes adrenochrome.
Exactly.
Let alone if you, God forbid, if someone has a rare disease where they don't have access to this organ or they need a certain thing, they're going to be on a waiting list. And depending on the country they are in, like me over here, we have free healthcare. But I had to apply for a family doctor. I waited 5 years, okay? I saw that bitch once. This bitch got up and left. She went back to her country. I have to apply again.
Yep. Start the process all over again. And, something that people can do to rid themselves of cancer is apricot kernel oil, apricot seed oil, right?
It's
So
on
there's
this.
something about it. The people, they're called the Hunza people. And these Hunza people are living up to like 150, 160 years old, just by intaking apricot kernel oil. And I've been doing it, and I'm 31. I look,
You look 20, bro.
I know. I get told I look younger by all my friends and family all the time. It's like, oh, you haven't aged a bit. You haven't, And I stopped using toothpaste, and my teeth are becoming whiter, and my breath smells less bad. I've noticed. And I still floss. Flossing, is good for you.
Speaking of teeth, I went. Here's a reason where I should have paid for the real service, but my mom was like, "Hey," because I needed my teeth done, right? My mom's cousin is a dentist, so instead of me going seeing a real dentist, I'm like, "Hey, I get the family hookup." So we drive to Toronto. He does the thing, whatever, yada yada yada. Then like I have all this paranoia and my OCD and all this shit starts. I come to find out I think he put lead fillings. And lead is horrible for you, I heard. So if I have like 5 fillings of lead, I have constantly lead like leaching into my blood and I'm like constantly like, you know what I mean? And I heard like you can develop onto OCD and other stuff like that. So I cheapened out because now I look, it's supposed to be ceramic or something.
Right. If people have taken the vaccines, something they can
do. Say jabs, so we don't get a violation. Just say the jibby.
All right. If people have got the jibby jab, then something they can do to rid themselves of the harmful stuff that's inside is zinc, right? So when you intake zinc, it just does something to your body, and it's like detoxing. So you would basically, if you got the jibby jab, you would want to intake natural zinc, which is inside of dandelions, right?
Oh.
And you can just take zinc supplements also, which is why dandelions are so looked at as a weed. They want us to be unhealthy, and so they don't want us to use them as medicine. But in our Bible, it tells us that God gave us the leaves, for medicine, and He gave us the fruits and the seeds for meat. So we're supposed to be intaking vast amounts of fruit and seeds, and we're supposed to be, if we have any illnesses, we're supposed to heal them with herbs. Oregano is a great detox. So oregano, it can kill the parasites that are inside of you also. So oregano, zinc, sea moss, all these things that Dr. Sebi and other people that have been renowned herbalists, they have been silenced and killed for their information, because if they can't make money off sick people. Yeah. They can only make money off of
if Dr. Sebi would have stayed quiet and just like in his cities healed them and not gone mainstream and on the news, that's where he went wrong. Because as soon as you're putting yourself on the screen, then you're putting a target, because then they don't want you to make money, let alone take money away from them.
He knew it was his time to give us the truth. He spread all of his information to his son, and now his son is spreading the information also.
Isn't one of his sons in jail or something?
Probably, yeah.
I think that's what I heard.
Yep, he was locked up for spreading the information.
That's it.
Because you can't kill two of the same family members, right? It's gonna make the conspiracy theorists look real. And if we look real, that means there's truth to what we were saying.
Yeah.
And they want people to look at us like we're crazy.
At the same time, it's like, let's say tomorrow you have 1 million fans. I would prefer you say that you are crazy than you say you're sane, because you don't want 1 million fans believing you, and then you know what I mean, that you know where that goes.
I would much rather tell the truth and die than be silent and have people die.
Well,
I would
the
rather
trick is to
I
speak
die.
in code and not put yourself in danger, bro. Because what use are you dead? Right? You think God would want you to say what it's like you're saying what that guy did, that the guy that said free Palestine, he killed himself. You know, his name was Ryan too, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what you
Well,
say? Like you
if you think about it like this, if Dr. Sebi would have kept quiet and didn't publish any of his books,
we wouldn't have known about him.
We would not have the information we have today.
That's true.
But since he sacrificed himself, just like Jesus, if he's himself for the greater good, right? He is now. His information is still getting out. People are still buying his books.
It's true.
People are healing themselves every day when they hear the name Dr. Sebi, right? And he died for a good reason. And I would love to have the opportunity to die for the same reason, right? And I don't care. Like the
That's
CIA,
very honorable of you, bro.
I know people will miss me when I'm gone, but when I am gone, they're going to be like, wow, he was murdered. And he was murdered for a reason. What was that reason? And then they start down the rabbit hole. And then they start to wake up. And then they learned. And then they spread the information. And then the 10 other people that knew spread the information. And then they tell their friends. And it gets out. The word gets out. You can't, like God said, all things will come to light. Right? All truth will be revealed in the end times. This is the end times we are in. The end times is basically the end of not knowing, the end of control.
Like we're gonna get all the answers, you're saying?
We're gonna get all the answers, and nothing's gonna stop us from getting the answers.
Because now AI is coming to the picture, and now I'm starting to see videos where AI is there, and now you don't even know what's real and what's AI anymore. Let alone there's obviously there's goes with OnlyFans, but now there's AI generated models, and the AI generated models are actually doing better than real people.
Right.
So it's definitely some fucked up shit is going on. Reality and fiction and all this shit is so distorted, like we don't even know what we're looking at anymore.
But if people speak truth long enough, they are able to tell the lies from the truth, because we speak it, we know it, and we know what to look for when we speak truth. If you were just telling lies and you're an egotistical liar all over and over again, you know what the lies are, and so you would still know what the truth is because you speak lies, but you would try to hide the truth.
Well, eventually a liar slips up on his lies because he's building a castle full of lies, you know? Eventually he has so many lies, he forgot where he told truth and what he told a lie, and eventually he's going to get busted in his lies. I find it so freeing, bro, to be honest and not have like a secret agenda with everything. It's just so freeing to be honest and say your true intentions instead of keeping a charade of a fucking lie going on. Because I feel everyone is like keeping up a character, and they're so afraid of how people will react to their picture, let alone a video of them talking. You know what I mean? People are so fake, bro.
Yeah, people want to be loved more than revered, right? They want to be loved more than looked up to, right? So, like, if people look up to you because of your lies, then they won't want to be really, like, loved because of the truth, because the lies are more effective than the truth. But once people start knowing the truth, then that's when the lies stop, and eventually you start looking back on your life, and you're like, you know what? I was very untruthful in my life, and I'm going to change. And that's when you become, a truther. And you look towards the Bible for more truth, and you start basically, rewiring your brain.
I want to get like a certain version, but the scary thing is, apparently the guy that wrote the Bible is the same guy that wrote the Book of the Devil, right?
Well,
King James, right? King James.
I just got the Geneva, the 1560s Geneva Bible.
Okay.
I just bought it. I have it right here in front of me, and it's a lot different than the King James version. It's a lot different than the 1580s version of the Geneva Bible. It's the most original Bible I've ever read, and it tells things so differently that you can't help but to think, like it says firmament in there. You can't help but to think, like, what have they pulled out of this Bible and hidden from the people in all the other Bibles?
That's what I want to know.
And they used to kill people who would carry around the Geneva 1560s Bible, because King James, it goes against rulers. It goes against hierarchy. And King James was a murderer. He killed hundreds and thousands of women and men in his lifetime. He was not a good person. And he was gay.
Bisexual. Probably bisexual.
Yes. He was bisexual. He had many male suitors.
That's what's happening right now, and most of these Masons are all bisexual too.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are.
I know that the Freemasons, like the Illuminati, they have to go through like a series of weird things, like wearing a dress in public, and they have to demean themselves, and basically they have to commit sin in public, right? That's basically what it's about. It's openly sinful. You have to be openly sinful to be able to be in the good graces of the devil.
Yeah, so that's what they're doing in front of people. Imagine the shit they're doing behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Which involves animals, goats, donkeys, and other things I don't want to say because I don't want to get a violation. But you know what I'm getting at. And the crazy thing is, it's even in movies, bro. What movie was that? It was like about orgies. The modeling movie with the blonde guy with the nose like this. Anyway, there was a scene where they have orgies, and every time you see a thing with orgies, you don't really see the orgy, but there's like a donkey, a goat, there's a chicken there. You know what I mean? It's not just that by chance. Where the fuck have I seen an orgy where I've already seen 10 dudes and 10 women, but why is there animals there, bro? Why is there a donkey there? Why is there a fucking goat there?
Right. Well, goats are the symbolism of the devil.
Yes.
And donkeys are like the symbolism of was it Democrats? Right?
Oh shit, it's true. Why is that?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know why the elephant's on the Republican Party either.
Oh shit! But it's all red and blue.
Right, it's all red and blue.
That shit is everywhere, bro. The duality shit. So whenever I go I see dominoes, I'm like, they're part of it. Fuck. Dominoes, their symbol, dominoes, everything.
Chess. Yeah, if you see checkered floor, chess, all that stuff.
So I heard, I don't know what state it was. I'm sure you know. They legalized prostitution in one of these states, and now the STD rates have fucking skyrocketed. AIDS is apparently like through the roof, like 1,000 cases or 2,000 cases of AIDS and shit. Which I had a joke where I said the biggest way to eliminate grapes and self-deletes per year is to legalize prostitution. But my joke was it was medical escorts, so they're included in the healthcare and they're tested every week or so they won't spread STDs. That was my joke. But I'm saying that would prevent a lot of self-deletes, no? And grapes, don't you think?
Right. Yeah. Well, it would, but also it makes it to where my mom was a prostitute, right? And so I want to be like my mom.
No, that's if you it's like the CIA guy or whatever. That's a good example, I guess. The CIA guy, his kids never know, his wife never knows what he's doing, or most of the time, if you're a good parent, your kid's not supposed to know a shitty job that you have as being a hooker. That's when you're a horrible parent. You know what I mean?
Right. But if they normalize it, and people in schools, are normalized by it by saying that it's legal, just like legalizing fentanyl or meth. It's legal, and so it makes it not a sin to do it, and so people are like, "Oh,
what? Wait, hold up. You're saying if it's legal on the books, it's considered not a sin in the Bible?
No, I'm saying that's the mentality that people will have,
But that's
right?
like, like I believe in the Bible, but I'm not a virgin, and the next girl I get, I'm not looking for a. I should be looking for a wife, but that's not my first thought. You know what I mean? Like if we're in
Well,
the end times, I'm not looking. I guess you know what? Technically, it's true. If we're into the end times, we should both be looking for wives right now.
right. Well, I've been talking to a woman in Indonesia,
Oh shit.
um, and she's real. We FaceTime all the time, and she wants me to come over there
Hmm.
and spend a month with her. And we've been talking about what she could possibly do to become a U.S. citizen or a partial U.S. citizen. And like I'm about to be one of those passport bros. Like just going to other foreign countries and trying to find a good wife.
I heard Vietnamese, Chinese, and something else ease or some shit. They're the best wives to have. Because like the difference is, women are hating on the passport bros, but you have to break it down. Because these women in those foreign countries, they're bred to be wives, bro. Their
Right.
mom is preparing them. Their mom is teaching them how to cook. She's saying, "Hey, you're gonna have a husband one day." Blah blah blah. The women here, that shit is not like that at all.
No.
They don't do it. They don't
No.
want to do any of the work, and they expect the man to pay for everything.
Exactly. The woman I'm talking to, she doesn't care how much money I have. She doesn't care if that I have a good job. She only cares that I'm taking care of myself, and I'm honest and healthy. She told me, she's like, I care about you. Like, I hope you're not eating after 7 o'clock.
What?
Because after 7 o'clock, your body starts to heal itself, right? And then she said, do not eat before you go to sleep because your body's actively healing itself. She actually cares about my health. And
Wow.
that's a big thing, Like she also told me that in Indonesian schools they're teaching about flat Earth. They don't teach that the Earth is round. They teach and tell them that the world is flat. And that's another big thing because that's truth. That's a truthful thing. And so I'm thinking that maybe there's other countries that are not controlled by the United States and don't have the United States views. And these people are living, 100, 125, 160
Yes.
years old.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe what Americans that are awake and are flat earthers need to do is we all need to move to other countries. But America might fall because of that. And so, like, we have to think what's best for ourselves and not what's best for our country because
Our country is not doing what's best for us.
is divided. It's already divided. Russia, where they have one dictator, they have one president.
Can you hold on 1 second, Ryan? I have a phone call.
All right.
Allô, Chio, ça va bien?
Ouais, toi?
Bien, bueno.
Bueno.
Tu veux aller bar encore?
Ouais.
Ok, alors viens.
Ok.
Ok, bye.
Maintenant, je pars de la maison.
Ok, bye.
J'arrive. Ok, mon ami.
And Ryan, where are you? And we're back.
I'm calling to inform you about your car's extended warranty.
Affleck. My friend's coming over. We're gonna go to the bar. He's gonna be here in like half an hour though, so that's good. We have time. So yes, you're speaking about going to foreign countries to find a wife. So obviously two good things. She's very informed about being healthy, and two, they're talking about the flat Earth. And the thing which you reminded me of, they were talking about in places in the world where people live over 100, and these are all places that are really actually outside of the city. It's like little villages, like isolated villages. And like this one place I heard about, this place in India or Pakistan, I don't know. These guys live over 100, and all they do is eat chickpeas and drink tea. That's all they do. They don't eat anything else.
Yep.
And obviously their chickpeas are natural chickpeas, not fucking genetic. You know what's sad, Ryan? I'm trying to eat healthy, right? I go to the fucking grocery store. Guess what I see? Cherries, it says coming from USA. I buy an apple. The number starts with 4. USA. I'm in fucking Canada, and all the fruits and vegetables, it's either coming from USA or Mexico. And when it says Mexico, it's a USA company based in Mexico.
Well, look what Canada's doing with all the farmers. Your farmers are in a unionized revolt against their country, right? Isn't that true? Like all the farmers are like, packing the streets.
That's happening. That's happening everywhere. I think they're doing that. They did that in the U.S. They're doing that here. Like other.
They're not doing that here.
They're not doing that there.
No.
Isn't Monsanto like taking over everything?
Bill Gates owns Monsanto, and basically they control all of the import-export of farmers' goods. Like if you look at the fruits and vegetables, they spray them all with a clear coat wax, right? And it's like the appeal, the apple, the peel, the brand. That's completely from Bill Gates's Monsanto plant, and and it's a different apple. It's not like the apples that we eat here, and or we grow here. I have apple trees down the street, and I had one yesterday, and I've eaten apples from the stores here, and then I had natural apples. Natural apples taste way better than the apples you get from the store.
For sure.
They won't last as long, of course, in a wax film, but they're organic and they're completely good for you.
Didn't we see that whole videos of going viral? People with the watermelon that's like rubbery and shit, and the bananas that are rubbery. That's from the U.S. No?
Well, that is from the U.S. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in other countries as well. They don't. It's really hard to find watermelon that has black seeds here now.
Exactly.
I got an organic watermelon and it had brown seeds. They weren't black like I grew up with.
Well, I guess as long as it has seeds.
Yeah, the real ones are supposed to have seeds in them.
Yeah.
But when you crossbreed them and you make them basically not be able to reproduce on their own, that's when you have a genetically modified organism inside of your fruit. Like, let's say cherries, for instance, right? The cherries can be genetically modified, but they keep the pits in them. You won't be able to grow those pits of the cherries, but you still have the pit inside of them. Now, if they got a pitless cherry, people would know this cherry is not real, because ever since, like, cherries always have pits inside of them. I have blueberries, raspberries, blackberries all around me, plum trees, pear trees, apple trees.
Those are your plants? These are your plants? Wow. Good for you.
Yeah. It's right outside. Speaking of which, I need to go pick a bowl of blueberries. The blueberries are getting overgrown.
That's amazing.
You don't want to pick. Yeah, you want to. If I do eat fruit, I do not eat fruit from the store. And it limits how much fruit I can eat because it is seasonal. But there's different fruits in every season. So like when September hits, I can go eat grapes, right? And all the way through September, October, November, I'll have grapes. Apples are from May until about August, and then they die because it gets too cold. Blueberries and raspberries. Raspberries are from about May and like July, kind of. They're still there, but they're dwindling. Blackberries are from about July until about September, October, and you kind of have to just pay attention to know when your fruit is going to be present, right? So that's the only difficulty I have. Like I don't have them in a greenhouse, or else they would grow year round.
Okay, so my YouTube is about to die. Shout out to you. Oh, it died.